smell silence everywhere. Clean, nice home smell. Bad smell, so the nose. No deodorant or moisturizer or perfume can put away this stink of silence. And silence has been a struggle for me because I've been basically, from early on, I've been silenced. And I remember that I took a course at Stanford, and I was writing what I call tattoos. I was trying to collapse. I didn't call them haikus, because haikus are at peace with nature. I call them tattoos, because I'm mestizo. I'm in turmoil. The canvas is too painful for me. So I threw my manuscript to the professor, and the professor said to me, "These are not poems." And I said, "No, they are tattoos." And so my first tattoo was, "Poems fill out pages, tattoos punch your flesh." So one tattoo, banderas, trapos imbéciles, empapados en sangre. Flags, stupid flags, soaked in blood. And I got a very bad grade. And then you know what happened? The irony of all that? I sent it to the Chicano Literary Prize, and they got first prize. And so that tells me that, I remember that, when I went to Stanford, the first person I met was from Felipe Herrera. And so we connected to, "We're here." "Oh, yeah. And then we formed a group, and we had a magazine called Vortice. And then we joined on other writers with Jose Antonio Murciaga and Lorna. Lorna, you were an instrument that was so important for all of us, for Vic, for Juan Felipe, for Rolando, and every Orlando, and Adrian Vargas, and everybody came to Lorna's house, and she was printing Mango. And we had so many publications in the early, in the 70s. At the end of the 70s, we had Mango Press and Pajarito and Tonatiuh publications and Justo publications, and people in Mestizo and San Antonio and Tintan here. It was like a big movement. But you know what happened? This was the first thing that the Reagan administration did. The axe came down. It was like, shit, And so they cut funding to something called the Coordinator Council for Literary Magazines, and most of those magazines were closed down. And it was very sad to see that movement gone. It was conscious. It was to silence us again, again and again. And so, I'm so happy that Nina and I worked together with other writers and this anthology that came out last year. And the reason why really, Roberto doesn't even know, the impact that he had when he got a phone call to us saying, "Francisco, Nina, can you write some poems? Can we do something together?" And out of that call, we just, Nina and I wrote poems to each other, and now it's been 2 years, and we're going, places we don't know where we're going to. But this is an anthology of 46 poets that came out, and it's still going on. And Alfonso came out just on time to give him now, to acknowledge him as one of the editors also. So let's get a little round. And I want to bring this up because this was, believe it or not, the first book ever done in America by gay Latino poets. There were 3 of us, loquitos, and we were working at the Mission Culture Center with Rene Castro, and we said, "Can we put together an anthology?" And we did it a long time, and we criticized each other. So I want to read a poem by Rodrigo Reyes. Rodrigo Reyes was the founder of the first gay Latino alliance ever done in America. So talking about history, history is unwritten. Nobody writes about this. He was a director of the Musical Culture Center when it was founded, and by Alejandro and Roberto, and then people, did wonderful things there. And he was a playwright and an actor, and he did the first movie done on educating people, Ojos que no ven. And we formed the first, believe it or not, we got $100,000. The first Latino AIDS project was funded by the three poets, to educate, because we were seeing people were coming. And we had to do something to respond to that. He died of AIDS. And so, let me read the poem. It says, carnal knowledge. Carnal, ese, ¿sabes qué? Don't I know you? Didn't I meet you eyes una vez? Didn't we kiss our hearts once? Carnalo, carnalo. I am sure you know me. Oye, carnal, didn't you used to live next to me, a un ladito? I remember that if I reach out, I could touch you. It was a long time ago. Then you split. Querías conocer el mundo, ¿te acuerdas? Simón! I'm sure it was you. Don't you know me, carnal? And dialéctica del amor. Para el mundo no somos nada, pero aquí juntos tú y yo somos el mundo. Thank you so much. To the world, we are nothing. But here together, you and I are the world. And the struggle goes on. And I think it's important to recognize that the struggle goes on. And in the last 2 years, something's going on in America that I'm very disturbed by. It's a deja vu for me. 1933, LA. My grandfather was fired. And he was told the reason why he was fired because he was Mexican. And he was a mechanic, and he had come to fulfill his American dream. My mother was born in LA. My uncles were born in LA. And yet they had no way of sustaining themselves. They had to go to Mexico, to a place they had never been. So the family was like, crisis, tremendous crisis. 2012, we're doing the same thing. To the same people that have, you read the roots of this continent for thousands of years. Isn't that ironic that we call illegal aliens to Guatemaltecos and Chapanecos and Oaxaqueños, who really are descendants of the original settlers of this continent? But we have a border. And people die in the border crossing. Every year, 800 people. More people die crossing the border than any other war. Do you know that? It's an economic war. And so I was very moved when a friend of mine who was a professor sent me a YouTube video. I didn't believe in Facebook at that time. And I saw the video and I was very moved when I saw 9 Latino students chained to the doors of the Capitol because they were protesting SB 1070. And as a part, as an instrument, so I was praying, I had to respond. So I did respond, and I sent a poem to my friend who was a professor there. He went to city jail, delivered the poem, and they responded back. And I said, wow, this is technology, It's like a oral tradition, you tell a story and you get something back. And I said, what do I want to do? So I said, well, let's open up a Facebook page. I did, and hundreds of people were responding. And now we have a big page. About 700,000 people have clicked that page. It's called Poets Responding to SB 1070. And I'm going to read the poem that I think I still have it here. It's a poem in response to that. For the Capital 9. To the 9 students arrested on April 20th, 2010 at the Arizona State Capitol for protesting SB 1070. Carnalitos y carnalitas, brothers and sisters, from afar we can hear your heartbeats. They are the drums of the earth. Our people follow closely your steps as warriors of justice and peace. You take on the peace of hatred. You change yourselves to the doors of the state capitol so that terror will not leak out to our streets. Your voices, your actions, your courage cannot be taken away from us and put in jail. You are 9 young warriors, as 9 sky stars. You are the hope, the best dreams of our nation. Your faces are radiant as the sun. You will break down this dark night for a new day. Yes, Carnalitos and Carnalitas, all our sisters and all our brothers need no papers to prove once and for all. We all humans, just like you are. We are no criminals. Our plea comes to no to criminalization. Yes, to legalization. Las flores son nuestras armas. Flowers are our weapons. We opened the doors of our homes to greet them. They came in and evicted us. We show them the open green of our valleys. The sacred blue sky of the sky. They cut down the trees for their furnaces. They poison the rivers with mercury. Yet we survive this latter of our days. And now we face them in this final battle to save our lives, the lives of all. Desert, desierto, give us just strength. Viento, wind, blow into us your courage. Madre agua, mother water, guide us in your tender ways. Carnalitos y carnalitas, brothers and sisters, don't be afraid. Carnalitos y carnalitas, brothers and sisters, don't be afraid. Las flores, the flowers, the feathers are on our side. From a new book that just came out. And this is, I have to present Bobby Coleman right there, and Bettina Barrett, who are the editors of this beautiful, really beautiful book. Again, politics and poetry do mix. We learn, in academia, oh, no, that's propaganda. That is not poetry. And I said, have you read Lorca? Have you read Neruda? Octavio Paz? Have you read the masters of poetry? Maybe the most important poets in our times write in Spanish. And they're very political. And so, they had to put their lives on the line. I remember, I was very moved. I was crying when I was translating Otto René Castillo, a poet, Guatemalan poet, who was killed when he was 33 years old. He was burned to death because he was writing poetry, political poetry, by the Guatemalan military. But in the poem, the beautiful poem, intelectuales apolíticos de mi país. No tendrás nada que decir cuando el pueblo se levante. Un buitre os roerá el corazón y permanecerás sentado siempre en tu propia mierda. And that's the way it is. You know? And that's the way it is for political. So I'm going to read this one poem. It's a little poem. It's a poem. There are two poems here for mine. But I like to read this poem because I came once to the demonstration right here in the Embarcadero. And I wanted to see the stars. And there were no stars. You know, and I felt so sorry. I said, we live in times that we have no stars. You know, they have robbed the stars from the light. You know, so the stars should reclaim their light too. The same way we're reclaiming, you know, our light. And so the poem goes, estrellas, estrellas ocupan la noche celestial, así como el 99% ocupa la atención, demandando al 1% su porción justa de luz en la oscuridad. The stars occupied the dark sky, as the 99% occupy the spotlight, demanding the 1% for the fair share of light in the night. Thank you very much. Gracias.